Hi everybody. Okay, so if you couldn't tell by the title, this video is all about my experience with Dr. Bruce Katz, who was the surgeon that performed my breast augmentation. I want to start off by saying that I am no way affiliated with him. I'm not being paid for this video. This is just my personal experience that I had with him and his surgical center. Um, so let's get started. So first, I wanted to talk about my consultation. Now, once I did a little bit of research on Dr. Bruce Katz, I found out that he really isn't kind of like really personal. Like he doesn't like baby you or do anything that a lot of the other plastic surgeons do. Like he's very just straightforward and to the point. So that was a lot of what the reviews are saying. So when I was researching him, that's what I seemed to find a lot of people commenting on. Now before I went to him, I went to Dr. Before I went to Dr. Bruce Katz, I went to Dr. John Diaz in Beverly Hills, and I really liked what he had to offer. I liked his work. He was very sweet. He was very personable, but um, his silicone was a little out of my price range, so that's why I didn't go with him. So I went with Dr. Bruce Katz instead. Um, with Dr. Bruce Katz, they don't do when I called to get more information, like financial information about what they wanted, about what they were charging for their implants. They don't do that over the phone. So I had to actually go to the consultation to find out how much he would charge for breast augmentation. Um, he has two sites that he works out of, which are the Merino Valley, or not Merino Valley, the Ontario site, and he also has his main office in Beverly Hills. So the Ontario site, he was only there every Monday. So that's why I could only get there on Monday, and my appointment was later in the day. So I get there, I show up, I'm on time, but they were super, super busy at this place. When I say busy, like it's insanity. Um, in that building. They're like crazy busy. So it took them a while to acknowledge me and all that good stuff. But once they did, I was right in with the surgeon. So actually, no, I waited about a good 10, 15 minutes before I got to see the surgeon. So I waited my 10, 15 minutes. I got to see him. And the consultation was literally about 5 minutes. He asked me, what my goals were, what I wanted it to be as far as breast size. And I said, about a full C. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And he asked me if I had any other consultations. And I said, yeah, I've had a few consultations. And one of them, they sized me about 500 cc's for saline. And he was like, so are you interested in saline or silicone? I was like, a silicone. That's why I came to you. And so he asked me to take my top off. He did some measurements. He felt the tissue and all that good stuff. And then he gave me his recommendation, which was, we can get me at a full C, but since silicone sizing is a little different than saline, you're gonna have to come back for the sizing appointment and all that good stuff. But he's like, you have good tissue, you're a good candidate for the surgery, and we can do your surgery through the nipple. I didn't want through the nipple, and I made sure I told him that, and he told me, it's a more hidden scar. We can do it, inframammary, or we can do it through the armpit. That's perfectly fine, but you'll have more scarring that way. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So he wrote some stuff down, and that was really about it. It was really like a 5 minute appointment. And after that, he shook my hand and he left. Like I said, since it was a 5 minute appointment, like I really felt like it was really quick. He didn't really hear everything I had to say. He didn't really ask me too many questions. Like the other consultations that I did, they asked me questions. They were really trying to find out what it is that I really wanted. And we kind of went on from there. Dr. John Diaz was really into what I wanted. And I thought that's kind of how all plastic surgeons work. But with Dr. Bruce Katz, it's very straightforward. Your appointments with him are literally like 5 minutes or less. And, at the end, he asks you if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, then that's it. That's all the time you get with him. So I went back from there, from talking with him, and then I went back with his assistant, Jackie. Now, Jackie, she is a firecracker. I will give her that. I personally, I don't like talking with Jackie. I think she's kind of... Anyway, so we went back and talked to his assistant, Jackie, who gave me a little form with all the price information on the implants. At the time, during the time of my consultation, they had a special going. The implants were like $3,700 for silicone, and you have to do a deposit of $500 to save that price. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to go with him yet, so that's why I didn't give him money at that time, and I ended up losing that price and my surgical date. So because of my accident, remember you guys, I got into my car accident. So because I didn't pay the deposit, I ended up paying $200 more when I went back to go get my implants. So you talk to her, whatever, and then you go through all the pricing information, and then she gives you an appointment time or she gives you an expiration date for when those prices expire. And I got into my car accident and things happened. So fast forward, I call them back and I say, hey, I want to do this. I'm ready to do this now, and whatever. And, they tell me that, the price that I had originally, it went up by $200 because I didn't save that price at the time. So like, okay, that's fine. So with the $200 increase, the price jumped up to $3,995 plus $60 in blood work. Originally it was $40, but it got bumped up to $60 the second go around, and then $40 for the bra, and then it was another $36 for medications. So altogether it was about like $4,200, give or take. So I lost my train of thought. So I went back and I had a sizing appointment. Now this appointment, it's like a 2-3 hour appointment. You go in the back, you get, you see what implants you like look good on you under a tight shirt or whatever. So it was that appointment. So I had my appointment for that one was at 9 o'clock. I get there at 9 on the dot, and his assistant is late. Now the sizing appointment isn't with Dr. Katz. It's with his assistant, Jackie, which I was like, okay, I would imagine that they should have a plastic surgeon doing this, but whatever. So Jackie takes you back, and, she sits you at this table, and then she tells you, take everything off from the waist up, so you do that, and then you put on a surgical bra, like, the one that clips in the front. You put on one of those, and she starts putting the implants in. You start from the biggest and you go to the smallest. The biggest they have is 700, or the biggest that they had for me, because that was what Dr. Katz said would look the best on me. So from 700 it goes down from there. So we started at 700. I like 700. So you have 3 options. I had 3 options. I'm sorry. So I had 3 options, which were the moderate, the high profile, and the ultra high profile. The ultra high profile is more. They're like $200 more. So I just, so since I didn't want ultra high profile anyway, I only had the choice of moderate and high profile. Moderate is the moderate plus. It's like the one that is wide, but still gives more like projection. And then you have the high plus, which is more smaller, but gives the most projection. So, we started from 700. She would put a 700 high profile and a 700 moderate profile. And then we would go down to 600. And then I stopped at like the 16 and 650. I was like, oh, this looks really good. And then we tried on a 500, a 550, and it didn't look so impressive. So I was like, you know what, 650s, they look good. Jackie, his assistant, she was in and out. Like, I did not have her like full on attention. She was in and out the whole time I was trying these on and looking at myself and, you know, trying to see, you know, if it was what I wanted. And then when she was in the room, she was behind me doing paperwork. So it wasn't like she was there, you know, actively in the process helping me decide what I wanted. It was just me. And whenever I was like, can I try this size? Then she would get up, she would put the new size in, and then she would go do something else. So it wasn't like she was actively sizing me. I was sizing myself pretty much. And so I decided on the 616 cc's at moderate profile at first. That's what I decided at first. And then I was like, yeah, I like that. Look good. So we signed that down, put it on the paperwork, and then she told me, hey, you have until Wednesday to change your size. Make sure you get your lab work done, blah, 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 whatever. And I paid some money, you know, to reserve my surgery date. And we did the do, and we sealed the deal. So it was then I started freaking out, like maybe 616 is too much. So I called back the next day, and this was a Tuesday because my sizing appointment was on Monday. So I called back on Tuesday, and you know I was like, oh hey, I'm gonna try to change my size. I think 616 might be too big, like And I was like, I think I want to do 650s because, you know, it's not so wide and it has more projection. So, you know, I think it will look better on my frame. And she's like, yeah, that'd be a great size for you. I think that'll look so good. And I went with the 650s high profiles instead of the 616 low profiles because they were really wide and they extended past my rib cage. So that's why I was like, I think I want to do the 650s high profile instead. And she's like, yeah, that's a great size. But I was a little confused because I only saw 3 sizes when they were sizing me. But when I looked on the website for implants, there were 4. There was low profile, there was moderate plus, there was high profile, then there was the ultra high. So I was thinking maybe, you know, since the low profile is kind of obsolete, they don't really use low profile. I was thinking maybe that the moderates were the low profiles, and then the high profiles were the moderate plus, and the ultra high profiles were the high profiles. And so I expressed that to her, like, you know, I really don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm seeing different sizes on the website, but you guys are saying different size here. And, you know, this is when me and Jackie, we disconnected because she was like, she started speaking to me like I was stupid. Like, she started speaking real slow and just like, it really was irritating me. So that's where we disconnected to me. So, you know, after that incident, you know, everything was good, and then my date was for the 8th, and then, you know, I just had to wait until then. And then there was an issue with the lab work. If you go to Dr. Bruce Katz, you have to go to Pro Labs. There's no other lab work system that you can use. Pro Labs is the only one that they'll take. If you use anybody else, they will charge you extra. I was looking at almost $300 in lab fees because I went to another place to get my lab work drawn. And the place told me, oh yeah, it's fine, you can get it drawn here, whatever. But it was an issue, so make sure that you do that. But other than that, it was a good experience. Surgery day, I was a little late, but they got me back there. And surgery day was the second time that I saw Dr. Bruce Katz. Like, throughout this whole process, I saw him for the consultation and then surgery day. That was it. He was nowhere to be found any other time. So I saw him surgery day. He did the markings. He took some pictures. I signed some paperwork, and then I woke up. I went into surgery, and then I woke up, and that was it. And then I went home. So today I had my follow-up appointment with Dr. Bruce Katz, and it was literally like 2 minutes. I drove 45 minutes for that in traffic, and it was literally like 2 minutes. He looked at my chest. He said, "Oh, you're looking good. You saw some swelling up here." I did ask him about, my size. Like, I was like, I'm really nervous because they are still fairly large, and I'm kind of nervous that they're gonna be big. Like, is it still swelling? A lot of swelling still? Or he's like, "Yeah, you still have a lot of swelling going on." Da 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 da. But that was it. That was the appointment. It was literally 2 minutes. He looked at my boobs. He said they look good, and the appointment was literally 2 minutes because I had issues with my dress. I couldn't get the knot out, so that was like an extra 30 seconds that we had to wait. Otherwise, it probably would have been a lot shorter than 2 minutes. But yeah, my experience with Dr. Busquets, it's a positive one as far as the work. I'm happy with my how my boobs have come out. I just can't wait till the swelling goes down because I didn't want huge, ridiculously huge bazooka boobs. I didn't want that, but it looked like the work is really good from what I can see and what other people have told me. The work looks really good, and it was a very streamlined process. You're in, you're out type thing, but if you're looking for somebody that is more personable, who is gonna kind of work with you a lot more and kind of help you throughout the way and throughout the process, and you're not feeling like you're bothering them when you ask them questions, then Dr. Busquets is probably not the surgeon for you. His prices are really good. His work is really good. But you're not going to see him very often. You'll see him for the consultation and you'll see him for surgery day. But everything in between is with his assistant, Jackie. And with her, I just felt like I was bugging her because she just, her whole attitude and how she came off. So make sure you do a lot of research if you plan on using this. Even if you do any surgery, just do lots of research. I felt like I did a lot of research, but as I start going into the process, I kind of felt like my research was very minimal, and I probably should have did more. Not really on the surgeon, but on the procedure itself. I probably should did more with sizing. I should have made sure that I really looked at the 500s or even the 400s. I should have went down to at least 400 and really looked and turned and sized myself up because now I'm stuck with these big 650cc breasts, and though I think once the swelling goes down, like, it's gonna look really good, but it still would have eased my mind had I paid more attention and focused more to the smaller sizes before just looking at the bigger sizes and just like, oh yeah, that looks so good. I should have went with the smaller ones too. I also should have dragged somebody along with me. My brother or like my sister-in-law, I should have asked them to come along with me because, it never hurts to have a second opinion. I just figured that I would be working with the surgeon with my sizing, but that wasn't the case. And his assistant, Jackie, she wasn't really all that, helpful either. She kind of was in and out. She wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. And she was just like, oh yeah, that'll look good. That'll look good, type thing. Kind of like, just hurry up so I can get to my next patient. So, that's my experience. Sorry this video is so long, but I just wanted to make sure I got all the details in there. So I will talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching and supporting and subscribing and commenting, and I'll get to all your comments as soon as I possibly can. I've just been so tired and I really haven't felt like doing it, but yeah. All right, you guys. Bye.